step.
What else, Michael? What else do we have to discuss?
We can talk about. Well, we can talk about.
It's already 3 o'clock.
We could talk about my book when it comes out. That's coming out.
Yeah,
May.
when's your book?
May 14th.
What's it called?
The New Right.
The New Right.
The New Right. Yeah.
What's the New Right?
The New Right are.
Is this a nice way of saying alt-right?
They're included in that. Yeah, I was in Charlottesville, and I interviewed some Nazis for it.
What was that like?
Interesting.
How stupid were they?
No, that's the big myth.
Really?
I mean, these people are effective because they're bright. It's like 90%.
Wait, what? The Nazis? In Charlottesville are bright?
No, hold on. Any population, you're going to have 90% idiots, 10%. So there are people in that group who are sophisticated. This is why they're getting traction.
Sophisticated but fucked up.
Correct.
Okay. So evil geniuses.
I like to refer to myself as an evil genius, so I don't know that I want to be lumped in with that term. But yeah, I mean, they're dangerous in that sense.
Yeah, is that they are intelligent, manipulative, and
right. And the thing is,
right.
And as soon as they start talking, you see them as human beings. It's very hard to dismiss people and their ideas. And if the press won't talk about those ideas and sweeps them under the rug, and they're saying things you never heard before, right away there's an element of intrigue.
Well, the right is such a dirty word now. The right, like just saying.
It's always been a dirty word.
But it's way dirtier now than it's ever been before.
No.
You don't think so?
In the past, it was much worse.
Well, maybe in my lifetime, I should.
Yeah.
say.
But there's a vested interest on the part of the corporate press to make it a dirty word, because then it's like, well, all the good people are on the left, and then you don't have to do any persuading.
Do you think that that's a strategy, or do you think that's just really? What evidence do you have that points to it being a strategy?
Because if you have news articles, they will always use the term far right as a pejorative. They never use the term far left.
That's true.
It's a complete asymmetry.
That's today for sure.
And different countries, you'll have all these nationalist movements, and they're always referred to as far right, which is not accurate, because they're usually moderates when it comes to things like Social Security or government spending. They're just on one issue, nationalists, but they're far right.
Right.
So that's a way to kind of lump them in with the Nazis. And in many cases, they aren't at all. Nigel Farage is an example of this. When he took over UKIP and the whole British independence movement, he fought against the white supremacists because they wanted to tie together. He goes, no, that's not what we're about. And this was one of his big accomplishments, and he doesn't ever get any credit about this.
Well, he's just so inexorably connected to Brexit.
Yes.
All anybody thinks about him is racism, right?
Well, that's by intent.
Yeah.
That's by intent.
It's also just convenient, sloppy, lazy thinking by a lot of people, where it's just too many things to pay attention to.
Right.
And if you just, Brexit, bad. Well, Brexit, racist.
The definition of a racist is something that a progressive doesn't like.
Or someone who's racist.
So they're using these two things interchangeably.
Right,
but
that's a problem.
That's the problem.
That you can love. I remember when alt used to be like nerds. Used to be alt left. It used to be like alternative music, alt comedy, alt this. But
like Sonic Youth.
People don't say that anymore. Like even in comedy, they don't use the term alt rooms.
But alt comedy was a thing.
Yes, but now people stopped using it.
Because alt-right?
Yeah, they just use the UCB. Like, we're going to UCB. They don't say, I'm going to these alt rooms. But sometimes people do refer, like, sometimes there's like a little bit of residual left over. Or sometimes comics will still use that word. But alt, if someone said, oh, he's alt, you would automatically assume they were like really low-key, left-wing, progressive. That was alt. Now alt is alt-right, where it's like racist, Nazi, Milo.
Well, the NPC script is alt-right. Like if a person is to the right of Hillary Clinton, then execute alt-right.exe, and you just give them the whole speech.
Yeah.
So it's. I mean, the discourse in this country has completely collapsed, and I love it.
Why do you love it, though, that the discourse is collapsed?
Because my rights aren't up for discussion, let alone a vote. So whenever people sit down and have a talk about my life and freedom, it's going to end badly for me. So if people can't talk to each other about this, maybe we'll go our separate ways and live peacefully.
So you'd rather not talk about it and just go peacefully. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, someone's political opinions and preferences should have as much impact on my life as their sexual preferences. You want to fuck dudes? You want to have a threesome? I care if you're my friend and that I'm interested, but it's not going to impact me, and it shouldn't impact me. And same thing with, you want more welfare? Great. Go live your life that way.
Right. Instead of it becoming some shouting match on your front door.
And exactly. Yeah. Instead of you and your buddies coming up and scaring the shit out of my kids.
Yeah.
I mean, no one. I mean, very few people deserve that. I was going to say no one, but very few people deserve that.
Yeah. So disengaging from political discourse as a strategy for just overall civility.
But also worsening political discourse on purpose to make it so that people can't actually form coalitions and get anything done.
But it is amazing how personal people take other people's opinions on things.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like people, you know what it is? It's like when you're dating and you think, oh, this girl likes the same kind of music I do, so we're going to get along. That is a very weak correlation.
Yeah.
And there's lots of people who are right-wing who are good people, and there's lots of people who are left-wing who are good people, and there's lots of people who are right-wing who are bad people. There's a very weak correlation between this. It's a cultural signifier. You probably came from the same culture because people just take the culture of what they grew up with. But if you're going to just dismiss entire schools of thought just because they vote differently from you, at a personal level, you're missing out on a lot of quality people.
I couldn't agree more. We should probably end it with that. Tell me about your book. When's it out?
May 14th, 2019.
Okay. Well, that's a long time from now.
Yeah.
Come back on again
I
right when it comes out.
Yeah.
I love it. Thanks,
I love
brother.
you, Joe.
Appreciate it. Love
Thank
you
you.
too, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everybody.
That was fun.